Support WrestleTalk!
Hello, I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and this week it's back to Pete helping me write this script, not stupid Andy. Stupid Andy. Look at him. Stupid Andy. So I just wanted to say how great Pete was. He's very handsome, way better than me at the game Speedrunners. Handsome old Pete. Anyway, here's 10 wrestling news stories from this week you might have missed. Also, if you want to get up-to-the-minute wrestling news, make sure you subscribe to WrestleTalk and make WrestleTalk.com your homepage. We write a lot of news there, and you can read it and click on it, and then your life will be better. Possibly. Number 1, Bray Wyatt making first post-WWE appearance. Bloody hell, about time, big lad. Bray Wyatt was released from WWE on July 31st, 2021 in one of the most baffling WWE releases in the last couple of years. Since that time, he's been working on a horror movie alongside special effects artist Jason Baker, but now we actually have a date where Wyndham Rotunda will be making an appearance at a wrestling event, and it's today! Surprise! Rotunda is scheduled for a meet and greet at Showcase of Legends 7 in Albany, New York. Other names at the event include AEW Women's Champion Britt Baker, Trish Stratus, Scarlett Bordeaux, Dustin Rhodes, Evil Uno, Tori Wilson, W. Morrissey, Matt Cardona, Rikishi, and who's this little name right here? Oh, that's right, only bloody former Wyatt family member Eric Redbeard. Wyatt family reunion confirmed. Wyndham will also be appearing at WrestleCon 2022, which is happening in Dallas during WrestleMania weekend. Number 2, Ring of Honor details. Last week, Tony Khan came out on Dynamite to very shoutily announce to everyone that he had bought Ring of Honor. Look at my shiny new toy, he said between wheezes. Aren't I very rich and very cool? The purchase was largely praised by the wider wrestling community, though question marks still remained about the future of Ring of Honor and what that meant for their shows, their remaining employees, and their 20 years of footage. Well, according to a report earlier this week from SE Scoops, there could be several releases coming soon as part of this deal, as Ring of Honor employees reportedly didn't get the impression the new regime is interested in hiring them after the sale goes through, and severance packages are being considered, but nothing is decided on yet. With regards to the Honor Club subscription service, which was a platform hosting all of ROH's footage from years gone by, as well as discounts on purchases and more, whether this will continue to exist is apparently in limbo. The reported general message for Ring of Honor employees is, we're fighting for you and exploring how to help everyone. If you want to stay in the wrestling business, we are doing our best, but there's no formal transition planned and no guarantee that anyone will stay on. Number 3, Tony Khan addresses Chavo Guerrero. And on the subject of TK, there was some controversy surrounding him this past week, as Chavo Guerrero had called out Tony Khan for ignoring him. After Chavo spent a brief period managing Andrade El Idolo in AEW, he left to work on the Young Rock series as a stunt coordinator and supposedly was told his spot in AEW would be waiting for him when he came back. However, after he apparently sent Tony Khan messages and voicemails, he heard nothing back, which led to him publicly mentioning about the incident on Twitter. This resulted in Chavo being removed from the AEW roster page online, and Tony Khan commenting on the situation on the AEW Revolution media scrum, where he said, "To be honest, I was a little surprised because I only missed one message from him, and then he went to the media after I missed one message from him. I definitely owe him a phone call, but I was a little surprised to hear that because I do like him a lot. Chavo could walk in here right now and I'm very pleasant with him, but when I saw that, I was like, it's kind of a busy week. A busy week? AEW Revolution and buying Ring of Honor? Doesn't sound too busy to me, Tony. Shape up." Number 4, Shivani didn't know about Regal. On the subject of AEW Revolution, one of the highlights of the show was the debut of William Regal. Old Willie Reegs, who came in like everyone's favorite wrestling dad, slapped his sons John Moxley and Bryan Danielson, and then made them kiss and make up. This has gotten weird. But interestingly, someone who's very close with Regal during their extended history together in the industry is Tony Schiavone. Regal explained on this week's Dynamite how much Schiavone meant to Regal throughout his career, noting he was one of the first people to help him when he came to America. So surely someone like Schiavone would have known Regal was AEW bound, right? Well, wrong. On the What Happened When podcast, Schiavone revealed he had no idea Regal was coming to AEW. I was absolutely stunned about William Regal. I did not see him prior to that. Then all of a sudden, the live interview I'd done with Bryan Danielson a few weeks prior made sense because he mentioned Regal's name. I remember in that interview thinking, wow, that's some inside baseball talk there. I don't know if he got permission to say Regal's name or not. It just didn't dawn on me that Regal would show up. After the segment, Schiavone rushed backstage and said, "I went up to him and grabbed him, hugged him and said, 'Well, you son of a bitch, you kayfabing son of a bitch.'" Genuinely lovely. Number 5, Mustafa Ali longs for freedom. One of the people that can't join in on the AEW fun right now, looking down on the joy from his window like the Squidward meme, is Mustafa Ali. Ali is still under contract to WWE, but despite requesting his release, is still stuck in the promotion as WWE refused that request and are keeping him there without using him on TV until his contract expires. Lovely stuff. But that won't stop him longing for more and patiently waiting out his contract, as following AEW Revolution, Ali tweeted simply to say, "One day." One day, Ali. One day we'll all rejoice and everyone will see what a great wrestler you are. Ali in AEW to join the likes of Buddy Matthews and Swerve Strickland. Don't mind if we do. Number 6, Bryan Danielson asked Vince McMahon to let him bleed. I don't think it can be overstated just how nuts this timeline we're on right now is. Bryan Danielson is in AEW alongside names like CM Punk, Kenny Omega, and the Hardy Boys with their old theme song, no less. And Danielson has just entered into a tag team alongside Jon Moxley, managed by William Regal. What the hell is going on? I love it. But despite Danielson truly taking his place as one of the best professional wrestlers of all time, he's mentioned how much he enjoyed his time in WWE and how much it pained him to leave once his contract expired in April last year. Speaking further on his decision to leave on Wrestling Observer Radio, Danielson mentioned that one of the things he asked for, Vince simply couldn't give him. I don't like to divulge my conversation with Vince at all because I know he's a very private person, but I will say that's one of the things I wanted to tell him before I told anyone else. Okay, I'm set on this decision. He was asking me why, and I said, part of me just wanted to be able to bleed. He immediately said, I'm sorry, I'll never be able to give you that. It's not like I want to do it all the time, but there's something incredibly life-affirming about it, as strange as that sounds. Does sound a little strange, Bryan. You weird goat blood bastard. Number 7, Matt Jackson calls wrestling fanbase the most toxic in the world. Well, maybe. One half of the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson, recently appeared on What Women Binge alongside his wife Dana, where he spoke about the wrestling fanbase as a whole. AEW, of course, has quite the rabid fanbase, which makes for raucous crowds and memorable crowd reactions. But while Matt spoke about the many positive interactions he's had with the wrestling fanbase, he did also have some negativity to shed on it as well. The other week, my brother's bag disappeared. Entire bag gone. He'll never get it back. Like, the whole bag is gone and the number is erased, so we think someone's onto us now at the airports. Like, I think we did a little too much bragging online about, look, we have all these great expensive shoes. I think they found us. Wrestling has the most toxic fan base in the world. They're the worst. Honestly, like, there's a lot of good fans. The ones that love you, but the ones that hate you, they hate you. We at WrestleTalk can't share that sentiment. Each and every one of our fans is absolutely great. Apart from the Number 8, Peacock president called WWE incredibly successful. Starting with WrestleMania 37 this year, WWE made the switch over from their own WWE network to a deal involving Peacock, where their premium live events are now hosted every month. While we often hear from WWE higher-ups about the success of the partnership, as they regularly tout the big numbers and profits on the quarterly financial calls with the stockholders, we've now actually heard from the Peacock side of things as to how the deal has gone for them. Peacock president, which sounds like a great title for an overly flamboyant supervillain, Kelly Campbell recently spoke with Vulture, where she called the deal incredibly successful. She also spoke not just about WrestleMania, but also about WWE Evil, a project they've been working on featuring John Cena that should be coming out later this year, not to be confused with WWE's New Year's Evil, or Evil the New Japan Wrestler, or See No Evil, or See No Evil 2. Number 9, WWE talking about EA about future video games. WWE 2K22 was just released a couple of days ago, and the early reviews seem to indicate a more positive experience than 2K20, though that bar isn't exactly hard to hop over. Despite this, there might be changes are coming to the WWE and 2K partnership before long. According to Fightful Select, 2K22 is being seen as a make-or-break game for the 2K partnership, noting that there was a lot riding on the release and how it's received. The last contract signed between WWE and 2K was in 2016, and though no details about the contract have been made public, it was believed to be a 6-year deal, which has now come up. If the game is received well, then an extension could be signed with 2K, but if it fares poorly, then WWE may look elsewhere for another company to produce. Enter EA. According to that Fightful Select report, WWE has had recent talks with EA about bringing the WWE Games division over to their company. Talks between WWE and EA have reportedly been on and off for years, including before the 2016 deal with 2K. One source mentioned WWE has shown a lot of frustration with the reception and lack of success of recent games. The gaming market is a major selling point for them, and they believe they've fallen behind the competition. And number 10, Cash Wheeler was in a straight edge society. It's time for the final story of the week, which is normally a bit of fun. So back in yesteryear, CM Punk was a leader of the Straight Edge Society, which was heavily cult-like, with Punk requiring the members of the faction to shave their heads in order to join. But it wasn't just limited to wrestlers, as Punk would also shave the heads of crowd members so they could be initiated too. And as it turns out, one of those seemingly random people who had their head shaved was AEW wrestler Cash Wheeler. Wheeler appeared on Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions, where he recalled the story of it happening. WWE reached out like, hey, how long's your hair? And I'm like, not that long, honestly, I just got it cut recently. They're like, okay, would you be willing to have it shaved? And I was like, yeah, When? Tomorrow in Carolina. Yeah, sure. So they want me to dress up like an extra, like I'm in the crowd. They put me front row. Punk comes out. Him and Gallows do their thing. And I jump up and down trying to get noticed. They come over and bring me into the ring and shave my head. And now CM Punk is in AEW alongside Cash Wheeler. Isn't that nice? Wheeler spoke on being conflicted about whether he should tell Punk about the incident or not. I was like, oh man, I should tell Punk about this because I don't think he remembers and I've never brought it up to him. Wheeler said, finally, I just sent in the pictures. And he's like, why have you never told me about this? Isn't that a bit of fun? Well, I like it anyway. And that's our list. What's been your favorite wrestling story of the week? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and share this video around if you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe to WrestleTalk and never forget to jam that jam.